What's happening, everybody? Suburban Hiker kicking rocks at Potato Creek State Park in North Liberty, Indiana. This is the Rea Cemetery. A fairly fresh blowdown, or near blowdown. It's still standing pretty tall. Today is Thursday, December 14th, 2023. It is approximately 2:45 in the afternoon and 49 degrees in the middle of December. 49 degrees, which is why I have on two shirts and a t-shirt, my hat, and my shorts. Heck yeah, shorts year round, baby. A quick look at the map for Potato Creek State Park. We came in the entrance, drove past the gatehouse because there was no gate fee today. Wonderful. I did get a map though. We came all the way over near Rea Cemetery, parked here in the parking. We are hiking Trail 4 today. 2.5 mile loop that starts at the cemetery, skirts Worcester Lake, goes through the woods. This cemetery was officially created September 6th, 1854, when Samuel Guard deeded land to trustees for a burial ground. Free African American settlers from Huggart Settlement were buried here alongside their white neighbors, not segregated. Porter Cemetery Association was formed May 9th, 1884, with both white and African American charter members. Rea Cemetery has always been a neighborhood burial ground for members from churches of various denominations. It has been called Rea for decades, perhaps because both Porter and Rea families owned adjacent land. Although enclosed in Potato Creek State Park, it remains an active, independent cemetery managed by Porter Cemetery Association. This one's dated 1888, May 20th. Some of the older headstones in here. They're made out of limestone, and limestone doesn't last. They wear out very quick. This one's dated 1883, age 3 years old. This one's dated 1870, aged 70 years, 3 months. This one's broken half. Trail 4 here at Potato Creek starts at Rea Cemetery. Wipe your feet. Please brush your boots before entering this natural area. The tiny seeds of invasive plants can hide in the soles of your shoes. Wiping your shoes at the base of this sign will prevent seeds from entering this natural area. spring house. The Schrader spring house once preserved the labors of the farm, garden, and kitchen. Before the days of refrigeration, cool water emerging from this spring kept food fresh. The structure over the spring provided cooling shade, protection from animals, and storage space. A spring house contained cans filled with milk, crocks, or mason jars filled with butter, meat, and perhaps a large pickle jar. Baskets of potatoes, onions, and other produce lined shelves. A metal dipper hung from the wall for those needing a cool drink. Charles and Mary Schrader immigrated from Germany in 1851, eventually purchasing 160 acres along Potato Creek. Their son Charles and his wife Elizabeth took over the farm and developed a successful livestock breeding operation. The farm stayed in the Schrader family until the state purchased it to create the park in the 1970s. 12 springs flowed on this 160-acre farm, leading the owners to name it Springdale Farm. As I mentioned, I am at Potato Creek State Park in North Liberty, Indiana. A fantastic park, one of my favorites. Riddled, if you will, with water, viewpoints, a little bit of terrain elevation. Fantastic park. Facilities for the children to play. Here's one of the park benches. What a view. Sit here in this bench, and this is the view you get. Potato Creek is 6 square miles. It's a considerable amount of land with a fantastic man-made lake, Worcester Lake, that is 357 acres. Almost 1/6 of the park is a protected wetlands, and that includes Worcester Lake, but protected wetlands as they attempt to bring back the natural woodland area and wetlands. This area was settled in the 1800s, as I mentioned, and turned into farmland and used for other resources. However, the area, part of it was deeded back to the state. The state purchased some of it, and it was turned into officially a state park in 1977. This area being a working farm 170-ish years ago, there are still remnants of that farm. I think we saw in the video the rock wall and stairs that were a foundation for something. Of course, we have the spring house that was used, the farming equipment scattered throughout the park. I have seen before remnants of old cars, tractors, farming equipment that would have been used back in the mid-19th century, mid-1800s. It would appear that we have a fairly fresh blowdown, or near blowdown. It's still standing pretty tall. However, it is definitely uprooted. How cool is that? Potato Creek was named based around the idea that Native Americans used to collect tubulars and rooted plants alongside the creek, and their word for those plantings translated to wild potato. in the language used by the early settlers of this area. So they named it Potato Creek. As I mentioned, Worcester Lake is a man-made lake. It is 327 acres, and it was first proposed to become a lake/reservoir in the 1930s by Darcy Worcester, the namesake of the lake. They finally listened after 40 years, but he never stopped. And apparently he would send a considerable amount of letters to his representatives in the government. The park does have campgrounds, both RV and tent camping. Also has a beach for swimming, has volleyball courts, tetherball, and there are multiple playground areas throughout the park made out of old timber and such. They are pretty fun. The granddaughter and I played on them many times when she was younger. And of course, we have hiked these trails quite a few times. We've made some videos. Go back and check those videos out. We had a fantastic hike here. The hike in total consisted of 23 miles of hiking and then steak dinner. So go watch those videos. This trail is one of the busier trails due to its proximity to parking, and there's a fishing dock and boat docks nearby. So it gets quite a bit of use. However, you can access other trails from this trail that don't see near the foot traffic. But even today, I've been here for 40-ish minutes. I've passed 3 people, which isn't bad. It's to be expected. It's a fantastic day in the middle of December. I'm surprised I haven't seen more people. None of the trails here are overly arduous. The most challenging I've hiked on the mountain bike trail a couple times, several times. It's about 7 miles. Lots of twists and turns. Little bit of up and down. This is Indiana. There's not a whole lot in the way of topography change, elevation gain. They also have trails for horseback riding and campgrounds and such. As a matter of fact, Trail 4. So there are, just on the other side, there's a connecting trail right here, and some of the horse trails are right there. You can hike on the horse trails, but I haven't. But they said you could when I asked them a couple years back. The park also has, I do believe on the grounds, a general store, boat rentals, kayak rental, just pretty much anything you would need for camping excursions. One pleasant surprise I forgot to mention, there is a $7 entrance fee. However, not today. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because we're out of season or maybe it's not during the weekdays. I didn't know. I was fully prepared to pay, but there was a sign that said no entrance fee. Yay! As always, I'm going to suggest you take it to Google. Google Potato Creek State Park. They have quite a bit to offer. As mentioned, you know, the kayaks, the boats, the paddle boats, the beach, all the rentals, cabin rentals, tent camping, RV camping, horse trails, bike trails, hiking trails. I think there's 12 miles of hiking trails, 7-10 miles of biking trails. There's a paved bike path through the park I've been on. Just a lot to offer. Google Potato Creek and Google the backstory. There's a fascinating history to this plot of land. I am almost back to the parking lot, and I'm going to wrap this up by saying thanks so much for coming along with me, hanging out, paying attention to me, if you will. I appreciate that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you Google Potato Creek State Park, and I hope you come here sometime and hang out. It's a fantastic place to be. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.